Well, let's see. Is this thing live? Am I back? It's Thursday night. I think it's Thursday night. Yeah, it's Thursday night. And it's the Minutes with Milo show, Octopus edition. So, I hope everybody's tuning in, listening up, joining in. I'd like somebody to join in. But if you don't, that's okay. I'll sit here and talk for however long. However long it takes to make you go, man, I wish that dude would just shut up. All right. Garth Fox says, hello. I'm back. So, Thursday, 5/23/2024. And we're going to talk about octopi. Octopus. Octopuses. So, they're smart. But how smart are they? Are they smarter than dolphins? Are they smarter than humans? I don't know. We're going to look at some of that stuff and watch some videos. Yes, I know. It's a video that's watching other videos about octopi. I don't know if that's a real name. I don't know. What would the plural of octopus be? I said S's on it. That's probably not right. It probably is octopi. Oh, that sounds stupid, doesn't it? So, why octopus? Well, they're cool as all get out. I mean, they're just like, you think it's IES's. Could be IES's. Let's just look at it and see. Plural form of octopus. It's ES's. Well, let's see. Yep, the most common accepted plural use for octopus is octopuses. ES. What is octopi? Huh. I don't know what octopi is. Let's see if that's actually a word. See? Octopi is the oldest plural of octopus, coming from the belief that words of Latin origin should have Latin endings. Octopuses was the next plural, giving the word an English ending to match its adaptation as an English word. Lastly, octopods stemmed from the belief that because octopus is originally Greek, it should have a Greek ending. So pods apparently are Greekish. Eyes, pi, is Latin, and isses is English. So now, we're done. We can go home now. Oh, wait, I'm already home. All right, so let's see. Like I said, octopus are just really strange creatures. I mean, they're invertebrates, so there's no vertebrae, there's no bones, they're just a bunch of gelatinous, blookily goop. And they can squeeze into like jars, they can do all kinds of crazy things. And they can be eaten. So one of the things I was listening to, I think it was on Joe Rogan's podcast, on how smart they were, and you know, it's a shame that we're killing them and eating them as food, and we might be killing and eating something as smart as we are. I don't know. That's what he was saying, or somebody was saying. Potentially, everything's just potentially. There's me. Where is that? No. All right, let's see. There we go. There's that. Go back to me. Shrink this me up. There we go. Someone is texting me. What is my call-in number? All right. So Garthog thinks he wants to call in, right? But I don't have that set up right now. Hold on a minute. I didn't start that. It's dismiss that. Voice calls. It's coming up. Do not disturb. We'll turn that off. We're receiving calls. Let's see if this will work. 423-482-1413. There it is in the bottom of the screen. I hope it still works. I hadn't used it in the coon's age, as they like to say. So now, if you eat squid, it's called a calamari. Calamari? I think that's what it's called. Because I had some at the Mad Greek. Calamari. Well, hello. Someone's calling. Can I answer it? Let me scroll down here. Message.
Call from. To accept, press 1.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, there you are.
Yeah,
It still works, man.
It does. It does. You got it going on there. So what possessed you to do a show on Octopus?
Well, like I said, I was had been watching or listening to the Joe Rogan show, and somebody in there, and I don't remember, how this stuff goes, had talked about, how smart they were, and they might be, they solve problems, they remember things, they might be as smart as elephants or dolphins or whatever. And then they were talking about, just imagine you're eating something that may be, super smart.
Well, I mean,
But
I would think they got to be smart because they're really just a big brain with legs. I mean, it's every superhero's nemesis. Is that the word?
yep, well, it's every ship's nemesis. Of course, now there is a difference between the squid and the octopus. I don't know if I'll get into that or not, because the giant squid is not, doesn't it? Okay, we'll look at that. One of the things we need to look at differences between squids and octopus.
Well, you talk about eating them, and of course we've all had calamari and whatnot. But I'm reminded of a trip went on one time where deep sea fishing. A guy caught one and ate it on the boat, basically uncooked, just raw, and like head first. It had tentacles like wrapping around his neck and everything. It was crazy. I mean, it wasn't huge, but it was probably the size of a golf ball with legs. But still, it was an image I'll never ever forget. But it was like,
so
dude, man, that's hardcore.
He caught it. Like, did he grab hook it? Because I mean, I think aren't their mouths like underneath, like a beak, or am I still thinking about octopi?
Yeah,
or
they
squid?
are, and that's the only apparently bone they have is their mouth or beak or whatever. But we were drop fishing, and basically it latched onto a bait that it was probably too small of a mouth for it to actually eat, but it had enough interest in it that when he brought it up, it was like hanging on there, and he was like, "Oh, it's a delicacy," and what's this kind of thing, and ate the whole entire thing. But it's like, I don't know who could eat it. To me, it looks like a big snail with legs.
Right.
But hey, there's Robert.
Yep. Hello, peoples. That's us.
We need to do a conference call or something sometime and figure out how that works. And
Or
you
you could just get a computer that has a camera on it, and we could just get on the show.
That too. I need to catch up with technology here in the household, but I'm on antiquated equipment at best, so we're making do with what we got.
Yep, that's true. So, all right. So there's a squid on the right and an octopus on the left. If you're able, I don't know if you're doing. Are you looking at your phone so you can't watch and talk?
No, I'm on the PC. I'm on the computer.
Oh, okay. All right. So there is a big difference in the two. So where did this go? Go back to this thing, not pictures.
So does octopus have ink like squid, or does squid have ink instead of octopus, or both?
So they got it. Look, squid and octopus are both cephalopods, but they have some differences. Squids have a more elongated body, larger eyes, and 2 extra tentacle arms, while the octopuses have a rounder shape, smaller eyes, and no, it says no tentacles, but that doesn't make sense. Squids have a stiffer structure in their body called a fin, while octopuses do not have any hard parts in their body. Squid uses their tentacles to catch prey, while octopus use their arms to grab the prey and inject venom. I didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't either. So Robert's saying they both have ink.
Squids can grow more than double the length of the octopus and are more likely to be found near the surface of the water, while octopuses are more common in the deep.
So the giant thing that comes up out of all the horror scenes you see at sea, like what they call it, the kraken, or the kraken, or whatever, it's like a giant squid or an octopus. I think that's a squid.
Yeah, I think it is a squid. The octopus and squid are 2 most fascinating animals on the planet. But see, this thing says they both have 8 arms and a beak-like mouth. Since these species are related, you will notice that many similarities between them. They're very different from one another. Let's see. They said they have pictures. There's pictures.
So in two, I think squid basically operates on jet propulsion to move themselves through the water, and octopus kind of like walks and drags herself across the seafloor.
Yeah.
Is that it? Okay, right. That's pretty cool.
So I think when it talked about the octopus being in the deep, I think it messes around more on the bottom. And the squid seems to be more of, it swims more than walks along the bottom. It has a body shape, like a torpedo, so it.
Yeah, gotcha.
It says squids have a shell. I don't know if they have a shell. Squids have an internalized shell called a fin. Okay, so, well, the squids always have those things like too on the sides that ripple. Sometimes I guess there's all kinds of different species. But let's get back to calamari. I had some at what did I say, Mad Greek, and it was deep fried, and it was good. I mean, I've had it before. I don't think I'd ever had it raw. I mean, I can't imagine what would possess somebody to try to eat one raw.
No, yeah, I mean, that's the guy I was telling you about he's kind of a little off balance anyway. So, it was weird to see, though. Well, hey, I'll jump off and let you get back to your show. I just want to call and aggravate you a minute.
Well, call back anytime. Like I said, I hadn't even thought about turning it on yet, but all right.
All right, see ya.
Bye. All right, so the phone line still works. Awesome. Cool. Calamari is usually deep fried. That's the way I had mine. But Robert ate at Green Seafood today. Said it was good. Everybody get the shrimp platter, popcorn shrimp. I mean, that's just, oh man, I bet your belly's still hurting from all that if that's what you had. They didn't have any calamari there, did they? 4 out of 5. Who got the kids platter? The chicken strips. I know somebody had to get the chicken strips. Okay, so back to our little. See, they, I like the octopus, but they look like slugs in a way. I mean, it's just hard for me. Oh, he got the whitefish, so nobody got the chicken strips, huh? So this is by Carl. This webpage, this article is by Carl Zimmer, and it talks about how they demonstrate, or a demonstration of how smart an octopus could be. We'll watch the YouTube video. It shows an octopus pulling 2 halves of a coconut shell together to hide inside. I don't know why it would not want to hide. Later, the animal stacks the shells together like nesting bowls and carts them away. It suggests the octopus is carrying these tools around because it has some understanding they may be useful in the future. But I don't understand. If he hides inside, how does that make it a tool? You think he's using it to hide himself and catch prey? He reaches out and catches something. So let's see what this octopus is doing, and that's what amazes me. We talk about it all the time, or a long time, but it's hard to, talk about how they move and how they, like I said, I've seen videos where they get down inside a jar, and it's it's crazy. Let's see what this says. Let me know if you can hear it. There's the sound. So it was hiding in the sand, it looks like. All right, so, okay, I guess that's one coconut, half of a coconut shell. So he looks like a hermit crab right there. That's wild. Maybe he's just imitating a hermit crab. It's a joke. Maybe it's a joke. He's got a sense of humor. He says, hey, this is my crab imitation. Now, what I like, see, he's changed colors. It's really weird. That is crazy. Walking along the bottom. It's like he's holding the coconut shell like this, palming it, and then he gets into it. Okay, so here's 2 halves. I don't understand what. Here he's really camouflaged now. Looks like he's. There's no sound. It's turned up, but there's no sound. And then he just walks off with them. Oh no, he's going to attack the camera. Well, they have a good underside of it. Good picture of the underside of it. I think he was just playing with them to see what he could do with them. It didn't seem like he was using it for any special purpose. It just looked like he was messing with it just because he could. Trying to figure out that, man, these things are pretty cool to play with. Says for decades, researchers have studied how certain animals evolved to be intelligent, among them apes, elephants, dolphins, and even some birds, crows, and parrots. But all the scientific theories fail when it comes to cephalopods, a group that includes octopuses, squids, and scuttlefish. Despite feats of creativity, they lack some hallmarks of intelligence seen in other species. Wonder what those are. For scientists who study animal behavior, intelligence is not about acing a calculus test or taking a car apart and putting it back together. Intelligence comprises sophisticated cognitive skills that help an animal thrive. It may include the ability to come up with solutions to a problem for finding food, or a knack for planning for some challenge in the future. Intelligent animals don't rely on fixed responses to survive. They can invent new behaviors on the fly. To measure animals' intelligence, scientists observe creatures in the wild. Watching a dolphin stick a sponge on its beak to avoid getting cuts from sharp rocks and corals, for example, or they bring animals into the lab and offer them puzzles to solve, such as rewarding crows when they learn to rip paper into strips of just the right size. One test is known as the ecological intelligence hypothesis. It holds that intelligence evolves as an adaptation for finding food. While some animals have a reliable food supply, others have to cope with unpredictability. So if you eat fruit, you got to know how to get the fruit. Using tools. Cephalopods behave in ways that certainly suggest they're highly intelligent. An octopus named Inky, for example, made a notorious escape recently from the National Aquarium in New Zealand, exiting his enclosure and slithering into a floor drain and apparently out to sea. Wow. Cuttlefish can scare off predators by forming eye spots on their bodies in order to look like a giant fish, but they only use this trick against predators that rely on vision to find prey. If a predator that depends on smell shows up, the cuttlefish is smart enough just to flee. One study, researchers at Hebrew University presented octopus with an L-shaped box with food inside. The animal figured out how to push and pull the morsel through a tiny hole in the wall of their tank. An octopus pulls together 2 empty shells in order to hide off the coast of Indonesia. Let's see. Now, I started to read this one. Let's look. How smart are octopus? Highly intelligent creatures. There was one thing that said, and that didn't really make a lot of sense to me at the time when I was reading it. They share certain not human genes. This says octopus may be so terrifyingly smart humans' gene for intelligence, but it's not really a gene for intelligence. It's a gene that intelligent creatures have. They call it being genes. It's really, I don't know, kind of hard to explain, but they do share a lot of those genes, and humans have them, and octopus have them in high numbers. Something's going on with my frames per second and my misframes doing rendering lag. I don't know why. It's got to be one of these. Let me close out some of these things. When I have that problem, it's like some ad is chewing up all my. Let's look at that. Let's look at videos real quick, because that's what's really interesting. 8 brains. Let's see what this says. How smart are octopus really? It's 43 seconds. See, there's the guy with the halves again, the coconut halves again, and then the shell. I mean, just because they can hide, oh, that's what's cool. They change colors like that. That looks like a spider. That's creepy. They have a mini brain in each tentacle. How, dude? Oh, that's, oh man. Why? That's crazy. Octopus intelligence experimentation, unexpected turn. This is 5 minutes. We're not going to watch 5 minutes of stuff. The octopus in this video is presented with a fish within a container. The container is has a screw top. There's a small opening on the top of the container. He can fit through the hole to taste the food, but he cannot pull the food through the container. The only way into the container is to unscrew the top. Or so we thought. Oh, look, it's in a baby bottle. Well, ain't that cool? Apparently it's holding to the side of the tank. Alright, so he doesn't unscrew it. What do you do? What do you think he does? If he doesn't unscrew it, does he crush it? You think he crushes it? I mean, that's the only other way I could see he could get into it, right? If he doesn't unscrew it, I think he crushes it. He's taking a step back to analyze the situation. This is something common we see in almost every experiment. They usually take about 5 minutes or so before making a second attempt. Have I held an octopus? No, I never have. They say they just are like slime. That kind of reminds me of that, because they just kind of ooze around your hand and they can use their suction cups to really hold on to you. But I'm afraid, you can't see their mouth, so they just like could be chewing on you. All right, let's get forward. Here he comes again. has a hole in it? We're gonna have nightmares about octopus now. It's kind of freaky. It really is. I mean, just think it could reach in through your ear and like squeeze your brain. He's trying to pull it through the hole and they can't do it. Much larger than the hole. Right? They knew that was the deal. So they think he's going to unscrew it, but still, man, I can't take it. We're going to skip ahead somehow. Alright, let's see what they say now. Instead of unscrewing the top, the octopus has applied a tremendous amount of force and has ripped off the top pacifier part of the bottle. We were unable to get him to unscrew the top in this experiment. However, it was quite interesting to watch him find another way into the bottle. To give you an idea of how difficult it is to rip off the seal, his handler was unable to replicate what he did underwater. So let's go back and see. How do you see where he rips it off? Alright, so the fish is still inside. Still has a hold of it. Alright, so there's the fish. Alright, so now he just popped that, there it is, and he gets the fish out. So he didn't rip it off, he just pulled it out. So he just popped out the top. So there it is, it's still in one piece. There it goes. He just pulled it out of the hole. Got the fish. Well, what they made it sound like, you know, when they rip it off, he just pulled it out of the hole. Of course, I mean, that's still really, really smart, really good, but it's not. Oh, no, what are you doing? That was crazy. Stop that. Stop that. What is all this stuff going on down here? Alright. Oh my gosh. I got stuff coming up, popping up on my screen next. Okay, whatever. Decline that. NPC. Now, my goodness. Quit that. So, I never can find, let's see, how smart are octopus? Search. Let's go do more images. Oh, shoot. What did I just click on? There we go. Well, there's a picture. Let's try to find another good example of. Let's look at this. Okay, they say they have many brains. Okay, so central brain in between their eyes. The mouth is there. Stomach is in the top. Wow. That's crazy. Crazy. Many brains in the arms. Well, it doesn't look like brains. It just looks like a really fancy nerve that's attached to the brain. Vanderbilt, what's this thing say here? Quit that. Well, I done lost it, people. There we go. Open image in a new tab. Oh, much bigger. I still can't read this part here, though. Okay, suckers. Each arm has 200 to 300 soft, squishy suckers, which can be, I don't know, articulated in any direction. The optic nerves are here. It says funnel, lateral hearts. Wow, the purple things are hearts. Mantle. I'm sorry. Let's see. And thinking skin. Wish I could read more about thinking skin. But you can't really see. I don't know how I can. You can't see the. Can't make it move up that part. All right. Somebody's texting me. Robert, Newsweek, incredible clip. Well, let's see. Go back one more. Videos. See what National Geographic has to say. This is 2017 and 40 minutes. National Geographic. Go ahead.
These are probably the basis of the monster octopuses in the old adventure stories. It's using its delicate sense of touch to get some clues. It can pull a mouthpiece off, but it doesn't try to keep it. When it knows what it needs to know, whatever that is, it disappears into the depths. Hunting can be almost as dangerous for the octopus as for the animals it's stalking. One mortal enemy is the moray eel, which sets up ambushes. It may be hard to tell who's winning this fight, but in a sense, they both are. The eel gets an arm to eat, but the octopus will still survive intact. Small blood vessels in the stump automatically cauterize themselves, and in a couple of months, the arm will just grow back. Scientists who study octopuses sometimes simulate attacks to observe their range of defenses. A poke with a camera brings an instant spurt of ink. The cloud acts as a decoy, while the octopus takes off in the opposite direction. If that doesn't work, it tries shock tactics, turning deathly white and spewing out another smokescreen of ink. The ink, by the way, isn't just a visual weapon. It also tastes bad, and is enough in itself to put most predators off the whole idea of eating octopus. If nothing else, an octopus is flexible. Not having any bones in its body, it can change into different shapes and fit into impossible-looking places. This beer bottle, for instance. The top hardly looks big enough to get a couple of arms through, much less the whole animal. But in fact, the only limit on an octopus's ability to squeeze is the size of its solid jaw.
That's not crazy, look at that.
Easy.
Octopuses are definitely not claustrophobic.
This giant Pacific octopus is part of the display at the Seattle Aquarium, where people can come in off the street and have the mesmerizing deep-sea experience of looking an octopus in the eye. The faster and more agile belemnite, a great uncle of all the squid. 150 million years, which is 100 not very spectacular limpet. 500 million years ago, the ancestral limpets made a living on the seabed, taking whatever scraps came their way.
It is. Octopuses certainly have complex behavior and have lots of different behaviors, but whether it's intelligent or not, I think remains to be seen.
Intelligent or not, octopuses can do some things that seem pretty smart. Escaping from their tanks, for instance. Keeping them in isn't always easy, because whatever their brain power, they're certainly strong. A 1-pound octopus can lift a 40-pound aquarium lid. That's like a man lifting a boxcar. And that's only the beginning of the adventure.
It's true that some octopuses can pull a rubber plug or bung out of a jar to get a crab inside. But some octopuses do it and some don't, and we don't have good evidence that they actually learn to do it.
It does take a certain skill to unplug a jar and pick out the crab inside. But catching a crab in the wild takes a lot of skill too. This, after all, is the softest of soft-bodied animals, attacking one of the hardest, with lethal claws attached. First, the octopus stalks the crab, waiting until it can pounce from behind, away from the claws. A quick leap and a grab with the suckers, and the octopus pulls the crab to its mouth at the hub of the arms. Then the octopus uses its only hard part, its parrot-like beak, to bite the crab at its only soft part, the membrane where the hard parts meet. Next, it paralyzes the crab with nerve venom, dissolves its muscle with saliva, pulls the shell open, and sucks out the liquefied flesh, leaving behind a perfectly clean plate.
So it injects stuff into the crab that turns it to goo, and it sucks the goo out. Isn't that like what black flies do? Don't flies do that? It injects some stuff into the flesh or whatever they're eating, and it, or is that spiders? Well, I think it's flies. They inject something in and it turns it to mush, and then they suck it out. That's interesting. So spiders do that. Man, that's creepy, really. See, I mean, if you were just messing with an octopus, that means that he could just bite you with his parrot-like beak and inject you with this toxin. Huh. Do octopus bite people? Seems like he'd bite anybody. Octopus do bite, but their bites are not typically aggressive or harmful to humans. They use their beak-like mouth to bite and tear their food. While octopuses are not typically considered dangerous to humans, there are some situations in which they can be a threat. If an octopus feels threatened or cornered, it may bite or use its beak to defend itself. Alright, so this one says, I don't want my stupid co-pilot. Why do I have to listen to the co-pilot? Stop responding. Let's see. Venom is injected with each bite, but most octopus's venom is harmless, although you might only know about the blue-ringed octopus being venomous. All octopuses actually have venom. Even though most are not lethal to humans, there aren't many accounts of humans being hurt by octopuses. They tend to avoid humans, and many attacks haven't been verified. Co-pilot with GPT-4. I don't need that. I was just wanting to know one simple thing. Of course, I clicked on the wrong, what I did. I clicked on the wrong thing. So, no discernible intelligence test. They can solve problems. They are strong and, I guess learn how to do certain things and exhibit examples of AI baby. Yeah. Robert, I almost read it as Alibaba instead of AI baby. So I don't think there's any, good test to see if they're smart. I mean, crows, they said like crows and parrots, you can teach them to do things and they use tools to find food and all that. So I guess, probably octopuses are as smart as crows or parrots. But, I wouldn't think that they were smart as maybe, I don't know. Maybe they just haven't been studied right. I was going to say that maybe they're not as smart as elephants. Because they'll say elephants remember each other. And if they've been separated for years or something like that, that when they're reunited with the other elephant, they come together and, basically say, elephant, say hi, I guess. But so this, the blue ring octopus, whatever, that seems crazy. All right, so octopus are smart, but most of all, they're just fascinating. Fascinating creatures that are really kind of freaky. And I don't know, if I had a chance to hold one, would I? I don't know. I mean, it'd almost be, like I said, almost like holding slug, like a big old slug. I don't know. Extraordinary octopus takes to land. Just one little quick look at this.
Northern Australia has the highest tides in the tropics, which expose vast areas of shoreline. And here lives a truly extraordinary species of octopus. Octopuses are marine animals. They live and breathe underwater. At low tide, most octopuses will be imprisoned in their rocky pools. But this is no ordinary octopus.
It's still hold his breath, right? How do we get all these pictures? Crazy.
It's the only one specially adapted to walk on land. It pulls itself along using the hundreds of tiny suckers that line its arms. Hunting for crabs, it walks from pool to pool.
How does it know where the next pool is? What happens when it goes to a pool where there's another
Apart
option?
from a rather startled fish. This one is empty.
All right, so they can walk on land too. Sweet. Interesting. Get my, where am I? Here we are. Oh, get back out there, get back out there. There we go. All right. So there you have it. Octopuses are cool. I wouldn't want to hold one. They can bite you, but it's not supposed to be harmful or fatal, even though they supposedly inject venom. I don't know. Cool. Power is back on. When did the power go off? Were you in the dark, buddy? I guess you were, except for your phone. Robert, you sent me a link I didn't get to. I have to look at it later. Newsweek. Upcoming National Geographic story, I guess. Shows scientists and octopus communicating in the wild. Huh. Seemingly communicating in an octopus as she hunts for crabs. The images, which were shot in the waters of the Great Barrier Reef off the coast of northern Australia, come from an upcoming National Geographic documentary, The Secrets of Octopus. It's a three-part series produced by filmmaker James Cameron and narrated by actor Paul Rudd. Follows marine biologist Alex Schnell as she investigates the secret lives of these extraordinarily and elusive creatures whose significant intelligence is only becoming more apparent. Well, let's see. We're seeing glimmers of intelligence that we might normally expect to see in a dolphin, chimpanzees, or elephants. So when's this thing supposed to come out? Filming this series, the team spent 2 years and nearly 1,500 hours underwater, documenting octopus behaviors in 10 different locations across 5 countries. When's it supposed to be coming up? Give me a time. Long article. The new series premieres, it says April 21st, so it's already been out. On Disney Plus and Hulu. Of course, it doesn't say what year. Okay, so this is published April 21st, 2024 at 5 a.m. So, it is out there to see. If you have Disney Plus or Hulu, you can watch that special National Geographic about the octopi. I like the octopi. It's different. I'm different. So, this here ends another Thursday night with the Minutes of Milo. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, turn the little notification bell on so you get notices. I'm not doing Mondays and Thursdays, just Thursdays, unless I've worked in the trees all day and I can't raise my arms because I was using a pole saw to cut back trees. And I just didn't feel like it because it whipped my butt. That's why. I made a show when I had COVID. That ought to tell you something. Cutting trees with, I had one of those buckets, a lift, which is cool and fun to run around and maneuver. But when you're reaching out with that pole saw and it's motorized, pull it, start it, it weighs, I don't know, however many pounds, it gets heavy. When you're old like me, doing that all day makes the old body sore. So anyway, Thursdays is the summer schedule at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or is it Eastern? Yeah, right now it's Standard, I think. So anyway, appreciate it. Tell your friends, tell your husband, your wife, your kids, your neighbors, your dog. The dog might like to want to listen to it too. Tell everybody you know. Check on back next week. And I'm going to try to do some more videos. I've got my coffee, my green coffee beans, and I found, I don't know, maybe I told you this before, I found me a popcorn popper with the air popper. So I need to get a video of that happening. That's coming up. Then I've got some videos I'm probably going to do in the barn. I got some stuff in the barn I'm working on. Might do a little short video about some of that stuff. I don't do a lot of videos on things that I do, except cooking. I like to cook. I'm not good at it, but I like to cook. All right, everybody. Thank y'all. Let's see if we can stop this stream and not act like a fool. Of course, if I don't act like a fool, then I just look like one. So which is worse?